In this video, I'm showing you Tabnine. Tabnine is an AI assistant for software developers. You have it as a plugin in your IDE. In my case, it will be IntelliJ. And while you are coding, it makes you suggestions for the code which you are probably going to write, and then you can take those suggestions and speed up your coding. So the suggestions are based on text completion AI logic, and it's pretty similar to what GitHub Copilot is doing. So let's have a look at Tabnine in action by switching to the IDE. Here you see a method I wrote in the past with AI support. It was an HTTP GET endpoint to get a customer number by having an email address as input. So let's do something similar now. I start writing a comment explaining what I want to do. I want a get endpoint for customer number. And you see already I get suggestions number by email. That is what was written here, but I don't want this now. I'll make a new example by first name and last name. Yeah, and so you see Tabnine is already making suggestions for the comment I have written, and that is how it works. Yeah, it makes you those text completion suggestions, and you can use them. Now I go to the next line. I get directly a suggestion about the annotation I need to have an HTTP GET endpoint in my Spring application. So I have to use a GET mapping, and it defines the path I'm going to use. Yeah, probably the same one as I used in the method below. The difference will be the parameters, and it will produce application JSON. So let's take this, go to the next line, and now I get the first suggestion for the signature of my new method, get customer by first name and last name, and I have two parameters, customer number and first name. No, that are wrong parameters. So let's add some more code. Validate parameters first name and last name to have maximum length of 36 characters. That is the default I use somewhere else in this method, this class. So let's have now 100 characters and see if it works now. Now I get first name and last name with a maximum size of 100 characters. That looks good, so let's take it. And after taking the signature of the method, I get directly suggestions for the first line of code, which is a logging statement. I will take it. Next line, I get also a suggestion comparable to what we have here below. Get party with customer number by first name and last name makes total sense. Let's take it. And then I do the if check whether the result of this method is present or not. So let's have this also. And if it is present, I return OK, and I return the body, which is then the party, which I get back here. So let's take this. And if it's not present, I return not found. Yeah, makes sense. So with Tabnine, I was mostly able to write this code by using the text completion as it was suggested by the AI. It's currently not possible that it creates code directly in another class. So here in this case, in order to create this missing get party with customer number by first name and last name method, I have to use the IDE to create this method. So let's do this. The method is now created with the IDE, and if I go in this method, I will get a first suggestion what I can do here, and that's just returning null. I hoped to get something better. Let's try it once again. Yeah, and you see now, sometimes you get also really big suggestions about a lot of code which could be written. Um, yeah, then it looks like this, and then it provides you directly a big bunch of code which speeds your work up more. Yeah, but it depends. Yeah, you have seen the first suggestion was return null. But let's go back to our controller and add some Java doc, because documentation is also something developers have to do often. And here we see now the first suggestion is endpoint, which gets the customer number by the first name and last name. As per operation get customer by. Well, that looks okay. Let's take this code. Let's take this common suggestion. And now we have the parameters first name. So it says first name of, let's say user. And we have then next code suggestion last name of user and returns a response with a customer number inside not inside a list, inside a party object. Yeah. Okay, so you see it's also supporting you writing Java doc. That was Tabnine in action.